お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Hey guys, in today's video, I'll be showcasing Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX from the Surging Sparks expansion set. Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX is a Dragon-type Tyro Pokemon with 300 HP. It has 3 retreat costs, and as with all Dragon types, it does not have any weakness or resistance. It has 2 awesome attacks. The first one is Tropical Frenzy. For 1 grass and 1 water energy, it deals 150 damage, and then you may attach any number of basic energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. The damage output is decent, but it's not quite enough to hit knockout most Stage 2 Pokemon EX in the game, which is a little bit of a letdown in my opinion. However, this can definitely be very useful to energize your other Pokemon. But its second attack, Swinging Sphen, is what makes this Pokemon very unique. For 1 grass, 1 water, and 1 fighting energy, you flip a coin. If it's heads, you can instantly knock out your opponent's active basic Pokemon. Or if you flip tails, you can instantly knock out one of your opponent's benched basic Pokemon. This attack is almost always a guarantee that you can get a knockout. However, the downside is that it only affects basic Pokemon. Despite that, however, this is a great way to target support Pokemon such as Pheasantipity EX or Squawkabilly EX, just to name a few. And what's funny about this attack though is that this is the only time where sometimes you would actually want to get tails so that you can get a knockout on your opponent's benched Pokemon. There are 2 ways that you can quickly energize Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX's attack. The first one is with the help of Crispin. This allows you to search your deck for 2 different types of basic energies. The first one you put into your hand, and the second one you can attach to one of your Pokemon. And the second way is by simply using the Tropical Frenzy attack. And you can even use Earthen Vessel to search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards. And if you have sufficient energies in your hand, you can just attach them to your benched Pokemon using Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX's attack. It is worth noting that I'm using this Exeggcute as my basic stage. While it only has 30 HP, it has a really helpful attack. For just a single colorless energy, Precocious Evolutions allows you to search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon, and you can put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it. And what's great about this attack is that if you go first, you can use this attack on your very first turn. And just in case, I also added a copy of Bravery Charm. This will give Exeggcute 50 more HP so that it can survive long enough before we can evolve it into Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. Again, realistically, you cannot win every game with just relying on Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX instant knockout attack, because obviously, not all decks consist of only basic Pokemon. So what I did is to pair Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX with this Hisuian ZOROARK as my secondary attacker. It has the Doom Curse attack. At no energy cost, this basically puts an effect on your opponent's active Pokemon so that at the end of your opponent's turn, that Pokemon will instantly get knocked out. So against Stage 1 or Stage 2 Pokemon matchup, we'll be using this to hopefully get an instant knockout as well. My other 2 choices were Roaring Moon EX or Pinsir, but Hisuian ZOROARK I think is the best choice. I really just wanted to keep the instant knockout theme of this whole build. The only real downside to this attack though is that it's really dependent on whether or not your opponent can just retreat their active Pokemon, which just removes the effect of the attack. But this is also why I have the Gravity Gemstone tool card. As long as the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot, this will add 1 colorless energy to the retreat cost of both active Pokemon. This will make it more difficult for your opponent to retreat their Pokemon. Also, as an added defense, I have the Neutralization Zone Stadium card for my Ace Pack in this build. This will prevent attack damage from being done to Hisuian ZOROARK from our opponent's EX or V Pokemon, which may just allow it to survive our opponent's turn and potentially get more knockouts. Since this build relies heavily on effects of attacks, there are ways your opponent can prevent it. And this is one of the reasons why I have a couple of enhanced hammers to discard special energies, because your opponent might have missed energy attached to their Pokemon, which prevents effects of attacks. Additionally, your opponent might also have Rabsca. It has an ability that prevents effects of attacks from being done to their benched Pokemon, and Toedscruel EX's ability can also be a nuisance against our build. But if you think about it though, not all builds really include either one of these in their list anyway, so it's not often that you'll encounter this problem. The only gripe I have with Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX is its low damage output for its first attack. 150 damage just is not even enough to hit knockout most Stage 2 EX Pokemon in the game. And its second attack only affecting basic Pokemon, I'm fine with that, because you do need those limitations, otherwise this card could be broken. But in some instances, you could try and get a sneaky knockout against a Pokemon which could get you the last 2 prizes to win a game. This is why I also added a copy of Technical Machine Crisis Punch. You can use this only if your opponent has 1 prize card left remaining, but this will let you use the Crisis Punch attack. For 3 colorless energies, it deals 280 damage. Overall though, the composition of this build is quite simple really. You just simply set up your Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX or your Hisuian ZOROARK, and then just keep knocking out your opponent's Pokemon, whether on their bench or in their active spot. Honestly though, if you want to go competitive with this Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX, try putting it in a Regidrago VSTAR deck. This fits in really nicely. But as a standalone build, this one is actually quite enjoyable to play. I highly recommend it. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. Before we get into the video, I have a small request. If you're liking the content I create, please leave a like to this video and please support this channel by subscribing if you haven't already. This is a small click for you, but for me, it means a lot. Thank you so much for all of your support. Alright, on to our first match. My opponent actually won the coin flip. They let us go first, which I do recommend. Since again, you can use Execute's attack on your first turn. You can fully evolve into Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. And we even have Earthen Vessel to fully energize our Pokemon. Let's go ahead and put this in the active spot. We also have Hisuian ZOROARK on our bench. My opponent will start with a Snorlax in their active. And for our first draw, we got a Crispin. Yo, that is huge. Let's go ahead and use Earthen Vessel, discard this. And your priorities will always be Grass and Water Energy. That way you can fully energize your Alolan EXEGGUTOR's first attack. And so now we can use Precocious Evolution from 30 HP to 300 HP, fully evolving into Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. And on our next turn, we can even use Crispin, fully power up our Swinging Sphere attack and start knocking out our opponent's Pokemon. Usually, your opponent would choose to go second if they can attack on their first turn going second. So this could be a Raging Bolt EX build or maybe a Miraidon EX build. No, this is a Lugia VSTAR. Alright, that's odd. Usually Lugia VSTAR builds likes to go first so they can set up their Lugia on their first turn, and then once they evolve on their second turn to VSTAR, they can set up their Archeops so they'll have unlimited energy acceleration for the game. And actually for a second I thought this was the Snorlax stall, but this is actually the Unfazed Fat Snorlax, which has an ability, one of the few, that can negate effects of attacks. So our Swinging Sphere does not affect this Snorlax. It has a built-in protection against it. But they also have Latias EX, giving all of their basic Pokemon free retreats. So this Snorlax, even though it has 4 retreat costs, you can just retreat it for free. But we can actually fully power up our EXEGGUTOR. Maybe we can knock out their Lugia and prevent them from setting up their Archeops. But we need to flip tails though. But no, they're going to set up another Lugia V, so that does ensure their survival. If we knock out one of the Lugia V, they'll have another one. Just evolve it into a Lugia VSTAR. And again, they just need to set up their Archeops from the discard pile so that they can put it on their bench once they use the VSTAR power ability of Lugia VSTAR. They did discard a Mist Energy though. So Mist Energy is one of those that can prevent the effects of our instant knockouts. So seeing that in the discard pile is good to see. They're gonna retreat Snorlax into Lugia V. Okay, that actually guarantees us 1 knockout next turn, because leaving Snorlax in the active, if we got heads, it's not gonna affect it. But now with Lugia V in the active, whether we get heads or tails, we will knock out one of their 2 prize Pokemon. And they already have 1 Archeops on their discard pile, so let's go ahead and use Crispin. You gotta get 2 energies of different kinds. The first one we put in our hand, and our second we can accelerate to EXEGGUTOR. And now we can attach the fighting energy, and we're just gonna Swinging Sphere. Heads or tails, we will get a knockout. We got heads. All right, cool. So we will knock out their Lugia V in their active, and that will get us our first 2 prizes. Alright. Not too bad. So thankfully we were able to go first. And we got Neutralization Zone. Can you even use Hisuian ZOROARK? I mean, yeah, because Lugia VSTAR won't have free retreats, because Latias EX only is helpful to basic Pokemon, so they'll have to expend energy just to retreat their Lugia VSTAR. So that's our backup attacker, and with Neutralization Zone in play, you could even prevent them from attacking or damaging our Hisuian ZOROARK with their Lugia VSTAR. But these types of builds though, usually they have Chinchino, but Lugia VSTAR builds does vary. It really depends on what your opponent prefers or something like that. So there's the Lugia VSTAR. Now they can use Summoning Star VSTAR power ability, and of course they're gonna get 2 Archeops set up on their bench. And now they can fully power up Lugia VSTAR, but at 300 HP, they're not going to be knocking out Alolan EXEGGUTOR. So we can tank at least 1 hit this turn. Got an Arvin. I could get Rotom V, but we can't use Boss's Orders. We can't use Counter Catcher because we are already ahead in the prize trade. And if we use Arvin, we cannot use Boss Orders, because you can only use 1 support card per turn. So with that, my opponent's Archeops Primal Turbo searches their deck for special energies, up to 2 special energies, and then attach them to one of their Pokemon. Okay. Okay, I was gonna say they have 1 less energy to Lugia VSTAR, but they will attach for turn, dealing 200 damage to our EXEGGUTOR. So we survive a hit. Hey, we got an Execute. Nice. We got a backup attacker for next turn, and we go ahead and get some more energies. What I could do is just deal a chip damage to Lugia VSTAR. I could 2-hit knock it out, because I don't want to take a risk with Swinging Sphere. If I get heads, it's not going to have any effect on Lugia VSTAR, because again, it only works on basic Pokemon. So, I mean, I could take a risk. I could knock out their Latias or their other Lugia V, but it's a 50% chance. Let me go ahead and get Gravity Gemstone and an Ultra Ball. That way I can get Hisuian ZOROARK if I need to, or another Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. Even if they knock out my active, we should be okay. Yeah, I could use Gravity Gemstone, I guess. That way, once we hit this Lugia VSTAR, maybe they'll think twice whether or not to give it more energies, just to retreat it. So I'm just gonna Tropical Frenzy, deal 150, and then I can accelerate these 3 energies to our Execute, and then we can use Ultra Ball, evolve next turn, maybe take a knockout against their active Lugia VSTAR. It really depends on what my opponent does here. And they're using Explorer's Guidance, which is a weird card to have in this deck. Although you can actually use that to discard Archeops if you're still setting up. But it also helps you to grab 2 cards from the pile that you do look through. So let's see what my opponent does. They can always just retreat Lugia VSTAR. They can attack with the other one. But we'll be ready. If they can't evolve into Lugia VSTAR, we can just use Swinging Sphere again and then take a knockout. My opponent will use Primal Turbo. I just hope they don't use Mist Energy, that's the thing. If they put Mist Energy on Latias EX, that's gonna be tough. Because, I mean, we could take a 2-hit knockout. Or we can take out these Archeops, but if all of their Pokemon are fully energized, that's gonna be pretty tough as well. Alright, they're energizing Snorlax now. Double Turbo Energy. Okay. And, oh, okay, cool. They're just gonna attack with Lugia VSTAR, leaving this one in the active, and I'm okay with that, guys. I am alright with that. So now we can take a knockout, get 2 more prizes, and then maybe take a 1-hit knockout. Instant knockout on our following turn. Got Buddy Buddy Poffin. I could stall a little bit, but I could be aggressive because my opponent doesn't have any Pokemon that can 1-hit knock us out anyways. So I'm pretty sure we will survive. So I'll sacrifice those 2. Get Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. Evolve this. And then just Tropical Frenzy for now. Getting a knockout against Lugia VSTAR. We have no energies to accelerate. That activates their gift energy, drawing them more cards. But we are 2 prizes away from winning this game. And we even have Technical Machine Crisis Punch if we need to. We can definitely 1-hit knockout their Lugia VSTAR. That is, of course, if my opponent only has 1 prize remaining. But as it is, we are in a little bit of a predicament. So this Lugia VSTAR has Mist Energy. We cannot even use Hisuian ZOROARK to knock it out either. But thankfully we have Neutralization Zone. They can't touch us, but they can also retreat into Snorlax to knock out our Hisuian ZOROARK. Yeah, so this is still either player's game. Either one of us can win it, but it's gonna take my opponent at least 2 turns before they can knock out our Exeggutor. And I think we have the luxury to stall a little bit, but we could finish it off with Swing's Fiend. If we get Tails, we can knock out that Latias, especially it doesn't have Mist Energy. But we'll find out. Oh, they're gonna Iona, alright. And that's gonna leave us with 2 cards left in our hand. And we got Bravery Charm and an Energy. This is not good. This is not good. At 200 damage, my opponent can knock out Exeggutor on our next turn. Hey, we got Hisuian ZOROARK. That's awesome. I could retreat into Hisuian ZOROARK, but they'll just... With that Mist Energy, this Lugia VSTAR is not gonna get affected with that. I could take a risk with Swinging Fiend though. If we get Tails, we can win this game. I think I'm gonna do it. Let's go ahead. Come on, Tails. Come on, Tails. Let's go! Let's go! And now we take a knockout against their Latias EX, getting us our last 2 prizes to win the game. And there you have it, guys. Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX is too awesome. Good game. Alright, on to our next match. We actually won the coin flip, and I've decided to go first. Again, you can use Execute's attack on your first turn and fully evolve into Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. And we're going against Iron Thorns EX, alright? Go ahead and use Hisuian Heavy Ball. We got a Cleffa from our prizes. 2 Fighting Energies and 2 Arvins. Wow. What are the odds of that? Attach the Water Energy. You can use Precocious Evolution. Evolve into Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. And now my opponent cannot knock it out. So, my opponent has Iron Thorns EX. Thankfully, we don't have a lot of Pokemon that have abilities that they can disrupt. So, this actually is not going to bother us that much. And it actually requires 3 energies to attack, so we should be safe this turn. But what concerns me is Marill and that Eevee. So those are eventually going to be stage 1 Pokemon, so we can definitely take advantage of Hisuian ZOROARK in this matchup. And hopefully take some instant knockout against those stage 1 Pokemon. But yeah, if this is a Sylveon EX, it's going to be very disruptive for sure. And now it's our turn. Alright, cool. Got a Rabsca. Let's go ahead and use our Earthen Vessel. We definitely need a Grass Energy here. Since 2 of our Fighting Energies are prized, I don't feel like discarding it because we might miss out on it. So I'll just get a Grass Energy, and I'll be using Iono anyways. Since we can only attach this turn, I'm not gonna grab another one. So we're gonna use Iono. And okay, we got a bunch of basic Pokemon that we can set up here. And if this is Sylveon, I might as well just set up a bunch of other Pokemon. And now we can use Tropical Frenzy, deal 150 damage, and we can accelerate all of these energies to our benched Execute. But we are left with 0 cards in our hand though, so that's not good. So let's see if my opponent can fully energize Iron Thorns. Alright, Crispin can definitely do that. But yeah, we can take a knockout against this Iron Thorns next turn. But with Crispin, we can accelerate a Psychic Energy to Marill, evolve into Azumarill, evolve into Sylveon EX, and there it is, guys. Yeah. And a Future Booster Energy Capsule. Wow, they had all the cards they needed here. Now they can freely retreat their Iron Thorns EX, giving it 0 retreat cost. And Azumarill has an ability where as long as there's a Terra Pokemon in play, it can use its attack for a single Psychic Energy. And Double Edge deals 230 damage, but it does 50 recoil damage to itself. There's really not much else we could do but attack. We'll just take a knockout against this Azumarill. And then we can take one prize. Our first prize for this game. We've got Fighting Energy. So, my opponent is not fully energized yet, so we should be able to survive another turn, hopefully. But no, they're gonna use Night Stretcher. And they're gonna recover Noctowl. Yeah, wow, okay, cool. They have everything they needed here. So, with Terra Pokemon in play, Jewel Seeker activates once they evolved it into Noctowl. They can grab 2 trainer cards from their deck. They got Crispin and a rescue board. And now they can fully energize one of their Pokemon. Either Iron Thorns or their Sylveon EX. Most likely Sylveon though, because Iron Thorns is at the brink of knockout. There it is, Sylveon EX is fully energized, and they also have Counter Catcher. Man, they're just getting all the cards that they need here. And they're gonna put Execute in the active spot. Most likely they're just gonna use Angelite. Yeah, that was pretty obvious. But you know what? If they... Yeah, alright, I'm okay with that. They missed out on 2 prizes. They could have just knocked out my Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. But that's fine. I'm okay with that. I don't want to waste this energy, so I'll just attach this one. And then we can use Precocious Evolution to evolve into Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. At least we can tank another hit here, even if they attack with Sylveon EX. Because they've already used Angelite last turn, they can't use it again. But at 160 damage, it's easy to 2-hit knockout Alolan EXEGGUTOR. But we do have a Fighting Energy. I might just have to take a chance. Take a knockout against that Iron Thorns EX maybe. Otherwise, I'll have to retreat into Cleffa and then draw more cards. But if I do that, they'll just use Angelite again. and they'll just have me shuffle all my Pokemon back to the deck. So the Sylveon EX is definitely very, very disruptive. And I showcased that in my channel, so if you haven't seen it, do check that out, please. It's a it's a very, very annoying Pokemon to go against. Alright, they're gonna go for Magical Charm, dealing 160 to our Alolan EXEGGUTOR. Got more energies. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a risk here. If I get heads though, it's gonna be game over. So let's go ahead, Swinging Speed. Come on, give me tails. Yes. All right, cool. And this is one of those times, guys, that you actually want tails when you flip a coin. That's insane. But we got a knockout against their Iron Thorns EX. We got 2 more prizes. We got the Arven that we needed. That's definitely going to help us out to set up our bench even more. Even if they take a knockout against Alolan EXEGGUTOR, we can set up 2 more Executes. And we have Ultra Ball to evolve into Hisuian ZOROARK. And that's the only one that can take care of the Sylveon EX, actually. So, my opponent takes a knockout, they get 2 prizes. And we got a Rotom. Yo, okay. You can even get Forest Seal Stone to get any 1 card from our deck, in addition to what we're getting with this Arven. So I'm gonna get Buddy Buddy Poffin again with that Androlite attack. I have to set up as much Pokemon as I can on my bench, and this Rellor could be very helpful to prevent that as well once we evolve it into our Rabsca. So I'm gonna use Star Alchemy. And then I'll actually need Super Rod to recover Rabsca. Neutralization Zone could be helpful as well. And no, that's not what we want. We want this one. Hisuian ZOROARK. Evolve that. Energize this. And then we're just gonna Doom Curse. Alright. So with no other attackers, they'll have to retreat the Sylveon EX. They'll expend that energy just to retreat it, unless they have a switch. And I mean, it's easy for them to attack. They can evolve into another Azumarill, put a Psychic Energy, and attack, knock out our ZOROARK, and the Sylveon EX will not have to be knocked out. They just have to move it out of the active. So they have an Arven. They could have a switch. I mean, could be anything. But a lot of builds today, though, they don't really use switch, and they're just gonna get Terra Orb. Okay. And they're gonna go for another Sylveon EX. Alright. Water Energy. I mean, they'll need a Psychic Energy, Azumarill, and they're gonna use Agilite. And they go for Execute and Rotom. And you know what? I'm fine with that. That activates Doom Curse because they didn't retreat Sylveon EX, and guess what, guys? We got 2 more prizes. There it is. It doesn't matter if Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX only focuses on basic Pokemon. Hisuian ZOROARK is actually pretty effective as well. So it's our turn. Let me go ahead and get switch, and let's see here. I could get. No, I don't need that. I could get Gravity Gemstone. That way they cannot retreat their Pokemon. And then let's see here. Could put this Gravity Gemstone. If with 3 cards left in their hand, if they couldn't evolve into Azumarill last turn, I doubt they have anything in their hand. But I'll need to set up more here. I think I need to draw into more cards. So I'll switch into Cleffa. And then Grasping Draw for more cards. Alright, we got Super Rod, we got Ultra Ball, and we got Crispin. So we are looking pretty good here, actually. We only need 1 prize left. If this Marill stays in the active, we can fully energize and evolve into Alolan Exeggutor EX and still deal an instant knockout to one of their basic Pokemon. It really depends on how my opponent sets up here. If they have Iono, we could be in big trouble. Another Iron Thorns EX is put into play. Can they attack this turn? They have one card left in their hand. It's a Psychic Energy, but nothing. Alright, you know what guys? That's it. That's game. We can use our Crispin. We need water and grass. This one we can put in our hand. Attach this. Attach for turn. Grass Energy. And we can get Alolan Exeggutor EX with this Ultra Ball. And there you have it. We can fully showcase our Exeggutor, and Cleffa has 0 retreat cost. And then we can use Swinging Fiend. Doesn't matter, heads or tails. We will win this match. And there it is. Let's go ahead and take care of this Iron Thorns EX. Knocking it out. And we'll get our last prize. And there you have it guys. Alolan Exeggutor EX. GG's. Alright, on to our final match. My opponent won the coin flip. They've decided to go first. And we had to mulligan twice, which means if my opponent chooses, they can draw 2 more cards to start their turn. And we're going to start this one with an Execute in the active spot. We got Hisuian ZOROARK and a Rellor on our bench. My opponent will start with the Squawkabilly EX in their active spot. I'm going to get a bunch of energies with Earthen Vessel. Alright. Squawk and Seize. Whoa, that's a lot of energies. Man, if I had to guess, this is probably Ceruledge EX. Because they have Ponyta. Yeah, there it is. A bunch of Charcadets goes to the bench. Brilliant Blender is used. They can discard up to 5 cards from their deck. And they discard 5 fire energies. Man, my opponent is on fire, man. So I saw a Rapidash. A Rapidash can discard an energy, increase the attack damage output of their fire type Pokemon's attack. So yeah, if they build up enough energies on their discard pile, they can definitely one-hit knockout our Alolan Exeggutor EX. Even at 300 HP, which is pretty insane. And more energies are coming out. More energies are going to the discard pile. They will retreat into Charcadet. Ultra Ball to get Ceruledge EX. They're ready to attack next turn for sure. Alright, so it is our first turn going second. I don't want to evolve into Alolan Exeggutor because I'm pretty sure they can just knock it out. Let me go ahead and use Buddy Buddy Poffin, get another Execute, and actually I'll get Cleffa for now. I'll have to retreat my Execute here. And I'm just going to use Cleffa to draw more cards because we need to set up our Hisuian ZOROARK. We got it. Alright, cool. We got Hisuian ZOROARK. We'll definitely utilize that. Because again, Alolan Exeggutor EX only instant knocks out basic Pokemon. We can definitely target the Squawkabilly EX later on. But we're going to focus on this Ceruledge EX using Hisuian ZOROARK. Thankfully, Ceruledge has 2 retreat cost, so I'm banking on that. Hopefully they cannot retreat it. They have a switch, but I don't see any jet energies. They're gonna take a knockout against our Cleffa, and they're hitting for 300 plus damage already. That's insane. Alright, so we got Hisuian ZOROARK. We got another ZOROARK. Okay, let's evolve into Hisuian ZOROARK. We can get another Hisuian ZOROARK with this Nest Ball. Attach an energy here, and we're just gonna Doom Curse. So what's gonna happen here is if they don't have any switching cards, they don't have jet energy. I hope they don't have anything. They'll have to attach an energy to this active Ceruledge just to retreat it, but that means they cannot power up another one. So unless they have a switching card, they'll just have to attack here. They're gonna power up their benched Ceruledge EX. So we have a knockout here, unless they have a switch. We're going to Iono. That does shuffle our Hisuian ZOROARK to the bottom of our deck though, which is pretty bad. And they're gonna attack 330 damage. Man, okay, alright. You know what? At least it will activate Doom Curse. At least, you know? So, alright, we got a knockout there. 2 prizes. Very nice. We got Crispin and an Arvin. Alright, cool. And they will put their Ceruledge EX in their active spot. We just gotta get that Hisuian ZOROARK. And we have to recover another one, just in case. So I'll get Ultra Ball for sure. And Forest Seal Stone can help us get another card from the deck in case. And then we can use Ultra Ball, get rid of these 2 to get Hisuian ZOROARK. And just like last turn, we're just gonna... Hopefully my opponent cannot retreat. Even if they take a knockout, it will instantly knock them out at the end of their turn. So Doom Curse will activate at the end of their turn. And their Fezandipity EX is not going to activate because none of their Pokemon was knocked out during our turn. Because, again, the Doom Curse takes effects after our opponent's turn, not during our turn. So, yeah, Fezandipity is not going to do anything. And, again, they're going to take a knockout. Doom Curse will activate, and we get 2 more prizes again. Nice. Alright, there it is. Doom Curse. 2 more prizes for us. Now we're ahead in the prize trade here. As long as we don't evolve into Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX, we should be fine. We even have Neutralization Zone to protect our Pokemon from being knocked out. Our non-rule box Pokemon, that is. Alright, so let's go ahead and discard this. What I could do is take a chance on knocking out one of their bench Pokemon to win this game. Go ahead and energize that. Get an Ultra Ball with Gravity Gemstone. Neutralization Zone. Oh wait, I need Crispin actually to fully energize. Because I could not evolve into Alolan EXEGGUTOR just with Arvin. So I'm just gonna end my turn here. That's fine. Okay. So, hopefully our Neutralization Zone sticks. My opponent has already used up their Pokestop. And with 5 cards left in their deck, hopefully they don't have anything to discard our Neutralization Zone. But with just 1 energy, they can actually attack with that Charcadet. Because they're hitting for weakness against our Execute, they can knock it out. So as of right now, Neutralization Zone is protecting our Execute. They attack and deals no damage to our Execute. Very nice. We got another Ultra Ball. Let's go ahead and use Crispin. Get the energies that we need to fully energize. Actually need this one. So let's go ahead and attach this. Attach the fighting energy. Use Ultra Ball. And then we can evolve into Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. We're not going to be protected by this Neutralization Zone, but we're going to take a risk here. Hopefully we can get Tails. Again, the only time we want tails from a coin flip, guys. Swinging Spin. Come on, give me tails. No! No! When we want tails, they don't give us tails. We got heads. So, Ceruledge ES is a stage 1. It's not a basic Pokemon, so Swinging Spin does not affect it. They take an easy knockout against Alolan EXEGGUTOR EX. But you know what, guys? Here's the sneaky part. This is the best part, though. Have you ever seen Execute deal a knockout? Well, you're gonna see it here first, guys. We're gonna use Crispin to fully energize Execute. And we're not gonna evolve it. We're gonna use Technical Machine, Crisis Sponge. At 1 prize remaining on my opponent's side, we can deal 280 damage, knocking out their Ceruledge EX for the last 2 prizes to win us the game. Good game. And that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and until next time, please stay safe and have a great day.